Everybody, Rich with Prep You Outside the Bunker. And yes, we have some more information on Illinois' rifle and magazine ban. We also have some information on a new bill being brought forth in the House of State of Illinois regarding ammunition. And we've got some other items here and there about other legislation that is pending or in court right now. And then we also have some information from out on the West Coast. And it's not all that great. So, anyhow, let's get into this right off the bat. Some of the stuff you may have already heard. I really haven't put this out lately. I should have done it on Sunday, but I didn't. So anyhow, if you haven't already heard, the 4 federal cases against the Protect Illinois Communities Act have been combined with the Barnett Raoul being the lead case. Okay, so they've kind of they've combined them all. On March 2nd, Attorney General Raoul filed the state's response to the preliminary injunction, and I think. Yeah, I think it's right here. Yeah, it's the amicus brief, not that one. There's so much paperwork here that I've got. So yeah, in the U.S. Southern States District Court for the Southern District of Illinois, Attorney General Raoul and Governor Pritzker and ISP Director Kelly's response in opposition to the plaintiff's motion for preliminary injunction. And you can get this, you can find this on the net. I did not print all, God, what was it, like 17, 18, 19 pages. I just printed a few here, and they, basically goes, it's got the cover page, it's got the table of contents talking about what they're going to do, and an introduction, basically talking about different other cases in the past. And I printed it to all the way up to the background. Then they have a background, and like I said, this is 72 pages. It's actually 72 pages from the state, and I am not wasting ink and time on something that I think has no merit. Okay, you can read it at your leisure, all 72 pages if you want. But this is a response that they had to give them by March 2nd, which they did. So that was their response. Now, all 4 plaintiffs have until March 23rd to file a reply briefs to the Illinois AG response. So this will be to the judge. Their oral arguments, that's their response to the AG Raoul's response. And then oral arguments will be heard on April 12th in East St. Louis. Each side will get an hour, okay, for their oral arguments. Since it is 4 cases on the plaintiff side, they'll each get 15 minutes. So I'm hoping that they all get together, which they will. And what they would say in an hour, they just split up 4 different ways. It makes sense, right? If it makes sense, it means they're not going to do it that way. But I don't know. I'm not a judge, or I'm not a lawyer. I did not stay at a Holiday Inn Express last night, and I don't play a lawyer on TV, so I have no idea what's going on. So that's the federal case. I suppose you want to hear about the state case real quick. Let me go to this. Okay, so the state case, 3 of the 4 state cases have been consolidated with the Macon County case, which standing alone. Okay, Thomas DeVore wanted to consolidate all 4. He probably wanted to be the lead on all 4, but it was denied by the Illinois Supreme Court. They denied it. Jerry Stocks, who was the attorney for State Rep Dan Calkins, who brought the case in Macon, suit stated he has a fundamental disagreement with DeVore's approach. Stocks' objective is to secure the maximum amount of citizen protection, not just the people who paid DeVore $200. That's not me saying that. That's Stocks saying that. He wants Stocks, his plan, and Dan Calkins' plan, the state rep, is to get this in the entire state, not just the people that are on a couple, lawsuits by DeVore. He wants it all over. So on Friday, if you haven't heard, Judge Rodney Forbes ruled in the Macon case the law to be unconstitutional based on higher courts' rulings. This ruling means that the law is not enforceable statewide pending appeal, according to Jerry Stocks, attorney for Representative Dan Calkins. Following the status hearing, the judge signed an agreement order declaring the law unconstitutional. Okay, so what does that mean? As such, pursuant to a facial challenge, I think I said that wrong, but anyhow, the law is void as if it never existed and is unenforceable in its entirety in all applications, according to Attorney Stocks. Okay, according to him. All right. Stocks also stated Friday's order is effective statewide. Well, I would proceed very cautiously. If you are an FFL, if you want to get out there and buy stuff, just check and see what happens down the road. Normally, when a law is declared unconstitutional, Starks is absolutely correct. It's null and void as if it was never there. All right. But I know a lot of people are going to tread very carefully because they don't know what the state's going to do. Speaking of the state agreed to the language and now wants to get it before the Illinois Supreme Court ASAP. Well, of course they do. They want to get it there, and who knows what the Illinois Supreme Court's going to do. Are they going to follow the Constitution? Are they going to follow the higher court's rulings on other cases such as this? Or are they going to be activist judges? And for those of you that don't know, Governor Pritzker gave a lot of money to several of the judges to win or be reelected or win a seat on the Illinois Supreme Court. So hopefully they will uphold their constitutional, what they swore to, and they will follow what the other courts, the higher courts, have deemed. All right, so that's those Illinois cases as far as the federal ones and the state ones against the rifle and magazine ban. So other cases, the ISRA, we're talking Illinois again, lawsuit against the ban on concealed carry on public transportation is moving forward. ISRA filed for a summary judgment. The case is known as Schonenthal versus Raoul. Okay, so they're asking for this to get moved along. They're trying to find out what is going on with this. ISRA has also filed another lawsuit against the suppressor ban. This case is known as Anderson versus Raoul. All right. In Texas, the Second Amendment Foundation has filed suit in Texas over the ATF's latest AR arm brace rule, which is good. And I think there are some other cases against it because it's crap. If you ever tried to read that arm brace rule from the ATF, it makes no sense whatsoever. And it screws everybody that followed the law beforehand, and it's really going to screw the people that try to get short barrel rifles or firearms with arm braces. If you haven't read it, read it. It's ridiculous. All right. State of Michigan is starting to debate a gun control package in Lansing. We'll see where that goes. It sounds like the package is pretty similar to Illinois and Oregon's and Washington's. And I believe, I think I already told you guys that down in New Mexico, in Albuquerque, they are also, I think it's Albuquerque, state capital. They are discussing the same thing, a gun control package. But in the state of Washington, they have legislation that passed the Senate and is heading to the House to make it easier to sue firearm manufacturers for crimes committed with their firearms. The problem with that is if people are going, well, how does that work? Well, it'd be like suing Ford Motor Company because I was drunk and I ran you over because I was driving a Ford F-150. That's basically what it is. And if cases like this get through and laws like this get through, this is just the beginning of people suing people that make stuff because somebody else used it incorrectly. What that's going to cause is these large manufacturers are either going to have to jack up the prices on their stuff so high to pay for legal fees and judgments against them, or they're just going to stop making the product. And that's not good. That is not good. And how anybody could think that if I make a knife and somebody takes it and stabs a bunch of people, that I'm responsible, are people that don't believe in personal responsibility and just want to make laws that just destroy a particular industry. And we know it's the latter. Absolutely. And as far as the state of Washington, this is the tip of the iceberg. There are so many other laws that have passed and are being proposed in the state of Washington that it is as my son would say, it is just a shit show out that way. Oregon is the same thing. Let's see. What else do we have for you? Some miscellaneous stuff. All right. Credit cards, if you haven't heard, credit cards are pushing a new merchant code just for firearms and ammo sales. Normally, firearms and ammo sales are in the general merchandise category. There's no special code, but credit card companies are pushing this. And they've stated that this is to combat and detect suspicious firearm and ammo sales. Many states are introducing Republican legislation to stop this. And what states are introducing it? Gee, go figure. Florida, Mississippi, Oklahoma, Texas, and West Virginia. All right. So the bills revolve around the credit card companies not being able to decline lawful payment cards, which they're doing that. If you remember a few years back, Bank of America, they told anybody that dealt with them that were selling firearms, manufacturing firearms, anything to do with firearms, we don't want your business. We don't care how much money you make. We don't care how much you borrow from us, how much interest you pay to us. We don't want your business. That's why I think it was Magpul pulled out of Colorado because of laws and banking things. So these bills are basically saying to the credit card companies, what they want to push through is you cannot decline lawful payment card transactions and not allow specific firearms and ammo codes separate from general merchandise codes. They want, you cannot pinpoint, or you cannot, red flag's a bad one. You cannot say, put a code on there so that when people look back at your, social histories, that you bought firearms and ammunition. So social credit score, I think that's what it is. Coming to a state near you, especially in this state, the state that I live in. But also, so you got that. Also, the Illinois Sheriff's Association submitted an amicus brief in support of the plaintiff's motion for preliminary injunction directed at House Bill 5471. And this is the case that they put the amicus brief in. Let me put it forward. It's Caleb, Barnett, Brian, Norman, Hoods Guns and More, Pro Gun and Indoor Range, and National Shooting Sports Foundation versus Kwame Raoul and Brendan F. Kelly, the director of the Illinois State Police. So let me just hold that up, and you guys can take a look at that. You can pause it, and you can see what what we're talking about here. Sorry, I keep moving it on you. So this was in support of the injunction against this law because they found it to be, they also believe it was unconstitutional, and because actions that interfere with the rights of law-abiding citizens, particularly rights enshrined in the United States Constitution, creates conflicts and are contrary to the fundamental objectives of law enforcement. They impede law enforcement officer ability to work respectfully with and among members of the public and in the enforcement of the laws necessary to protect and enhance the communities they serve. We all know the Illinois sheriffs across the state did not like this law because it was unconstitutional, and they stood up. Okay, and they stood up against the state and said, no, no, we are not going to enforce these laws or this law solely and particularly. What they said was that they will still do their duties. They will still go after people that have, commit gun crimes. And then it'll be an extra charge. They're not going after people just for that law. And just when you thought everything was honky dory, or whatever in the state of Illinois, we have Illinois State Representative Sonia Harper, Democrat from Chicago, filed House Bill 3891. And what this is, it amends the Criminal Code of 2012, providing that the beginning of January 1st, 2024, all handgun ammunition that is manufactured, imported into the state for sale, or for personal use, kept for sale, offered, or exposed for sale, sold, given, lent, or possessed shall be serialized. Yep. And if you don't turn over your unserialized ammo, it will make you a criminal. So this provides that beginning January 1st, 2024, any person who manufactures, causes to be manufactured, imported into the state for sale or personal use, kept for sale, offered, or exposed for sale, or gives or lends any handgun ammunition that is not serialized is guilty of a Class C misdemeanor. There will be provisions, provides exemptions within the law. Again, it's doing the same thing that the rifle and ammo, or the rifle and magazine ban did. Not only that, but it provides that the Illinois State Police shall adopt rules related to the assessment and collection of a end user fee in the amount not to exceed 0.005 cents per round of handgun ammunition or per bullet, in which the accumulated fee amount may not exceed the cost to pay for the infrastructure, implementation, operational enforcement, and future development costs of these provisions. And this will be effective January 1st, 2024. Again, I did not print out the whole damn bill because I don't want to waste my paper and I don't want to waste my ink. But you can go, and again, let me hold it up here. It's, if you see where the D Chicago, you can go underneath that. That is the House bill. You can go to it. You can read it yourself. It is absolutely ridiculous. So if they can't get your guns and they can't get your magazines, they're going to get you with the ammo. And that was their ploy all along. I have no doubt in my mind that this was planned to come out after this one, long after or long before they even proposed the rifle and ammo ban. But that's it. That is your, I guess, kind of a Sunday legislation update, especially for the state of Illinois. And we've got some stuff from other states around and the shit show that's going on in Washington. Thank you, Ryan, for those words. And that's it. When there's more information for you, we will let you know. It looks like the middle of April there'll be more movement on the federal cases. And hopefully we have really good news on that. And somebody just steps on this ammo bill. We'll have to see. Never know. But I'm going to sign off for now. I'm going to say thank you, subscribers. And as we always end on all Prep U videos, always be aware of your surroundings. Always have enough food, water, medicine, and ammo to protect yourself, whether you are sheltering in place or if you are bugging out. And please prep like your life depends on it, because it really does. Thanks a lot. Take care. Be safe. Carry on.